I'd
This
like to welcome
conference will
everyone
now be recorded.
17th, 2022 Bladen County Commissioners meeting. At this time before we start, Mr. Cogdell and Mr. McGill is excused tonight. They will not be here. And at this time, Mr. Adams from Center Road Baptist Church will lead us in prayer, and Mr. Martin directly following with the prayer.
Our Father God in heaven, we thank you just for the privilege to be standing in your creation this evening, to be the recipients of your mercy and grace each and every day. Give us the opportunity just to seek you out once more. Just ask that you continue to indwell us with your wisdom. We seek your wisdom and your wisdom alone, and not from anything of this world. In every decision we make, in every word we speak, and even every thought we have, God, we will carry out your will and your will alone. Thank you, God, for all the mercy and grace that you pour out on us each and every day. And allow us to never take that for granted, that we live under your authority and your authority alone. In your Son, Jesus Christ, and we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Mr. Then everyone's let the consent item. Motion to approve. Motion by Mr. Peters, second by Mr. Bullock. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Special recognition, Commissioner, if we go down front, please. Yeah. 5 years recognized for service to the county. On behalf of the county commissioners, it's an honor for me to stand here and give you this 5 years of service, and we thank you for everything you do for the county.
Diana came to DSS from the public world. So 5 years ago, she came into the agency with no experience. So she started out as an IMC1. She has worked her way up to an IMC2. And 2 years ago, she became an IMC3, which is the top level in our income maintenance area. And in that area right now, she is the one that is assisting families with long-term care and the special assistant. So, Diana, we appreciate your time with us, and we hope that you continue because she's a great worker helping our elderly clients. And right now, she is our main, only one, basically, our IMC3. So she's had a lot on her plate the last couple of months, and we certainly appreciate that. Thank you very much.
The butler, speaker. Amy Henson. On behalf of the county, we're very happy to present you for 15 years of service, and we thank you for every one of them.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome.
We received Amy from one of our surrounding counties, so we kind of brought her in. She came in with experience. She works in the Family and Children's Medicaid area. And about 4 years ago, she decided that she wanted to try being a manager. And she stepped into that supervisory role in the Family and Children's Medicaid area, and she's doing an excellent job. She has been a rally challenger advocate for us. She really assisted quite a bit in COVID, and she is our county champion now with managed care. So you can imagine with that takes some great leadership skills. But we're excited to have her recognized for 15 years and hope that she'll have at least another 15. I'm working on it.
Dennis Clark, not here, but when you see him, make sure you let him know we appreciate his 10 years of service. Matthew Bryant, Sheriff's Department. Matthew, on behalf of the county commissioners, appreciate the 5 years of service right here. We thank you so much for what you do in your service.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Let this man here.
Matthew's been with the sheriff's office 5 years. He's a sergeant on the road, on the patrol division. Does an excellent job. Actually come over from the fire service in another county. And he has been doing this for a while. And like I said, he's in the supervisor position, does a good job. Appreciate it.
Thanks, sir. Richard Bryant.
That's sort of, right. First one there is working today, tonight. He worked today, so.
On behalf of the commissioners, we thank you for your 5 years of service and what you do for the county. Thank you so much.
Corey is a corporal. Like again, he worked today. He's been with us 5 years. A very dedicated officer. Both of them are, and they both know their stuff, and they both do it outstanding.
Linda Jacob. Linda's not here. Make sure you thank her when you see her, everyone, for her 5 years of service. Ashley Allcamp, Sheriff Communications, no? There again, 5 years of service. Bonnie Guyton, Water Department, 15 years. No? All right, thank you. Make sure you thank her as well. We appreciate that. Ricky Hall, Solid Waste, 25, 50, let's go back 25 years. Richard, on behalf of the commission, we do thank you, sir, for sure. Appreciate you very much.
Hold on, Ricky.
Hold on, you got to get roasted a little bit first.
You gotta get roasted just a little bit. Ricky's been with the county, as you said, 25 years. Started August 31st of '97. He supervises the trucking side of our operation, which brings in approximately 20,000 tons of solid waste a year from the collection sites into our transfer station. He also maintains those sites, keeps the driveways graded. He also does the repairs on all the compactors, and he also tries to keep all of our fleet of trucks going. So he's got his hands full. Let's give him a thank you.
Sharon Davis? No? Make sure you thank Karen. That's 25 years of service also with soil conservation. We really appreciate that. Now it's time for a retiree. We don't like to see that happen, but we can appreciate you. Cynthia Jones. We don't like giving up people, you know. We like those that go home for a little while and decide they want to come back. Come back. On behalf of the commissioners and grateful appreciation to Cynthia Jones for dedicated service to the people of Bladen County as a Mapper 1, presented by the Bladen County Board of Commissioners, given the 17th day of October 2022, years of service, April 2006 through August 2022. On behalf of the commissioners, enjoy your retirement, and we look forward to you dropping by to see us.
So, Cynthia joined the tax department in 2005. She was a revenue clerk, and in 2006, she went to Mapper 1 and stayed there since she retired. Her retirement date was September 1st. I'm so blessed. I was so blessed to have her as a work family and as a friend. And I wanted to thank you for all your hard work, your dedication, and your honesty, support for our office and the citizens for Bladen County. And all of us at the office, we've missed you already. And we continue to miss you. But we're happy for you. So thank you for everything.
Ms. Terry Denson, you come on up at this time. Come on back down, John. Yeah. We're doing a little different. Doing a little different tonight. All right. Come back.
nice. Yeah, very nice.
Terry's with the Chamber of Commerce, and, I turn it over to her this time.
Just to give you a little background, for this past White Lake Water Festival, we had a contest with all of the school children in Bladen County. We're able to participate to come up with a logo that we will use for this year's Water Festival. So we're here today to recognize the 3 students, the overall winner, and the primary school and the middle school winners. So I think we'll start with the primary school. It's Mason McLaurin, and he's here with his mother. A gift for you, and then we also have a gift card to the Barefoot Sandwich Shop. So,
Oh, right.
this is a copy of Mason's picture that he drew. Is that? Yeah.
Wow. There you go. Turn around, come up and get that picture. Wow.
So this was Mason's picture, and this is a copy for you because your mother said you didn't have one. Good job. Our middle school winner was Emily Campus Estrada. To show that these were schools without, Mason was at Dublin primary, and you are Tar Heel. Okay, so this is Emily's picture, and what I love about it is she showed us how it would look on a T-shirt. Yeah, she did a really good job. So Emily, again, thank you. Here's the certificate. You did a wonderful job. Thank you. And our overall winner is Eileen Rojo. You can see a rendition of this. Actually, this is the way it's going to look for the logo for this year.
That's cool.
On all the chambers, they'll be on the T-shirts, the brochures, everywhere. So we thank you. Do you want a copy of it? Yeah. We thank you so much. It was very creative, and it actually helped us decide the theme for this year, which is Fun in the Sun.
She's trying to get a picture beside her.
Oh, yeah. So she thinks you can take that. And here's your gift card. Thank you. For letting us do it here, we thought it would be important at the county level.
And at this time, we're going to take about a 5 to 10 minute short break for a reception for these kids and our retiree, Miss Jones. And all. So, for those who would like to attend, we have a little room right here behind with some, I think, cupcakes and punch maybe. So we'll be right back in just a few minutes, folks.
This conference will now be recorded.
Leadership Development President, Dr. Jimmy Tate. We go ahead with the summit.
Joshua Albach.
Yep. What's the name again?
Josh Albach.
Yes, sir.
So, ladies and gentlemen of the board, I'm Josh Albach from Summit Food Services. I'm the district manager. I took over the ownership of North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia units as of August. And upon taking it over, I became, pretty quickly aware of the struggles that were happening at the Bladen County Jail. To say that there were a few issues there would be a gross understatement in the past. I did want to at least have the chance to advocate for Summit with the food service program we are providing for the jail. In recent months, since July, we got a new president to the company, and we have done some major restructuring. Since then, we have changed directors of operation. We've changed district managers. The key one that would affect here was the director of operation and the district manager, who are both over this account, have both been, the district manager has been actually terminated, and the director of operation had been demoted, and then I have taken over this account now. So I can't really answer for all the issues that have happened over the past 3 years here, but I do want to at least try and instill some confidence moving forward with you all that, you know, we came in, we did recognize some of the issues. We have been working with the client with the county for about 2 or 3 months now on designing a new menu with new options, new portion sizes, and all that to address some of their concerns. As of this past week, we have instituted a new menu, which I've been talking with our food service director, who we also brought on board. And she has given us very positive feedback so far. There are some areas that do still need to be adjusted and brought under control there, but we are trying to move forward in a much better footing with the county and with the jail to really service them the way they should be getting serviced and up to our standards. You know, the food service director we brought in, she was very qualified. She has over 26 years of food service experience. She's been working very closely with the county to improve the program and to make a program that's really customized towards them and that will work very efficiently with them. So, you know, really we'd just like to, if possible, retain the partnership that's here that we've had. We do have a lot of other partnership in the area. We've been working with Brunswick County, New Hanover County, Scotland, Lenore, and Wilson County. Even with Wilson County recently, we had helped them network with New Hanover County to get an ACA accreditation. And we just are really trying to partner with a lot of these local accounts. Now, I do completely understand if at this point they do wish to move forward with someone else. I would understand that, and I would only ask that you don't close the door on something completely, that if in the future you have any other needs for us or you find there's another struggle that comes up, I would just really ask that you hopefully that you reach back out to us and see what we can do at least at that time as well.
First, I'd like to add, we thank you for coming on behalf of the commissioners and letting us know your point of view. And I know you can't do anything about the past, but you know it for the future. We take in everything from advisement from the actual sheriff's department. They're the ones that's there. Yes. We depend on what they tell us, and so we all as a whole are responsible for the people that's being housed there. So we take that very seriously, just like the sheriff's department, I'm sure does. So we hope things work out, but there again, we take it in advisement with the sheriff's department, but it's their ultimate decision with our support to do what we think is fair and right for the people that's incarcerated. But again, we thank you for coming and look forward to seeing you.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, sir. Do we have now Dr. Jimmy Tate? No, still not here.
But Mr. Chris Council has asked.
Chris, come up, sir.
I don't know where I'm supposed to stand, but here, right
You
here.
can sit down there, bud. 2 chairs there, Chris.
Both of them. My concern is I've never been to a county commissioners meeting, but it's been a long time coming to bring up, we got a real serious problem in my area on Owen Hill Road. I stay on Pekinwood Lane. There's a couple of houses in our area, I could call out the name, that they're lots, which I'm gonna do one of them. You got where you can't rest at night, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, cars run up down there. I know it's a private drive, run up down through the raising sand and playing the loud noise music. And sometimes you see the cans, beer cans all inside the ditch on the road. And this past weekend, I called Central 3 times. They came out, I even watched, 3 o'clock in the morning, got watched. And they was raising all kinds of sand. And I'm gonna just tell you the house number now is getting all this problem is lot 62. Lot 62. And it doesn't make no sense that, you know, what happened when it's just that too much this stuff is going on. It need to be cleaned up. It need to be cleaned up. I'm asking for help. you say a lot of times, say you can't hardly get help unless you can one person come, but I'm coming by myself looking for, want some help.
What, when you say you called them 3 times when they went out, what transpired?
Okay, when I called first, deputy came out, and I watched the car, called it, and deputy car came right on by the house, the lot. Okay, and then after that, I called back again. I called back to country and said, the deputy car just passed the house, and the lady said she'll let them know which house it is. And so, and the lady called back again and said that what it was, the siren, some kind of siren went off, and I thought it was the noise from the house. The lady said it was a deer in the road. She was going for deer, and so that's, I know it was a lady, a deputy. I don't know who it was now. And so I stayed up about 4 o'clock. I stayed 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and it still went on. All I'm asking for is some help. We need some help out in that area.
You say it's going on, what's going on?
I know, first of all, I say noise, loud noise, music through the night, and this is going on too. When they're urinating in the front yard, and you have people watching them, seeing how they use the bathroom in the front yard, urinating in the front yard and stuff. And if I have to, I take pictures of when they're doing it. If I have to, I'm gonna take pictures of it because it don't make no sense. Show some respect. All they need is some respect. If you ain't got no respect, you just ain't got nothing. This thing going on for a while. It's been going on. I've never been to a county commission meeting, but I come for some help.
What I'm gonna suggest for you to do, start with commissioners, get the captain back here to meet you in the hallway out there and get the information from you and let him address it with the sheriff. That's all I could do. We noticed sincerely, we appreciate you coming. We know we have issues throughout the county with things, and some things get out of hand. But you did the right thing. You come to address it, and we let him go in the hallway. And he missed part of it because he just walked in a second. But just tell him, and I can assure you he'll get it. Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Does the noise ordinance apply to this?
It should. I don't know what kind of noise he's talking about.
Loud music?
Loud music. And
oh, yeah, we got
profanity. But my most concerning thing about, thing that gets me though, not only me, it's the more want to come, but they kind of scared to come. I'm not scared at all. But the thing about it, you don't take your privacy and just go out and just do it out in front of the public. If you got a wife and you don't want her seeing this going on, don't nobody want to see it going on. And when you go home at the end of the day, anybody go home, they go for some peace and quiet. They want that. If you can't get no peace and quiet 2 or 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And I'm not gonna move from nowhere. I have a while back, it's been about 4 or 5 years ago, I had a deputy told me, "Why don't you move? Why don't you move?" I said, "For what? I'm not moving for nothing. I'm not moving." And Mr. Ray, you know me. I know quite a few know me. As Chris Counsel, that's where I am. That's how I'm always gonna be. I just come for some help. We come for some help.
That's why I'm asking you to talk to him, and I think they'll get it. Just tell him the whole thing, the drug problems, the whole work. Don't hold back.
Well, I'm holding back. You know me, Ray. I'm holding back. That's why they call me Sniper. Thank you. I'm gonna listen.
Thank you, Chris.
Madam Clerk, anyone else? Ms. Terry Denson, Littlestown White Lake Area Chamber of Commerce. He is the director.
Thank you so much for letting me come today and to talk to you about this program that I think would be well worth for the county to get involved with. The Department of Commerce, Main Street and Rural Planning has announced a technical assistance program that will help us look at our outdoor recreation and what strategies we can use to use outdoor recreation to help our economy, maybe bring some new businesses in, maybe some new manufacturers about here. This has been kind of building up because the more we promote Mother Nature's Playground, as I think you all know that's the way we've been doing it, we're getting more attention and we're getting more people to come, and I think that's important. I think you would notice that in the difference from our pre-COVID tourism spending numbers to what we just saw reported for 2019. 21. It was a significant increase. We were the 16th increase in the state. So that's pretty significant for Bladen County.
About 54%, wasn't it?
54%, yep. So, you know, we are doing everything we can to help promote outdoor recreation. I think it's a good, clean thing. I think the county strategic plan talked a lot about not just for economic development, but for the health benefits of our members. And from this plan, we would get a strategic plan. We get asset mapping, which is something that we really need. We need to know where all those trails are, all those parks. We need to bring it together at a county level. And it would also give some training to people like myself and community leaders in how we can go about applying for other monies. There's no money involved in this. There's no money to you. There's no money from you. It's a technical assistance program. The deadline is October 24th. That's why I wanted to come in and talk to you. It needs to have, if the county is the one applying for it, it needs to have an administrative lead that's a member of the county. So I would suggest that economic development is the best place for it to happen at. And given the Chamber's relationship with economic development right now, which is really good, and we're partnered on a lot of programs, we would still help play a lead in making sure that we got the stakeholders to the table that need to be there, that the meetings were held, that everything flowed with it, so that we would end up with a good strategic plan for outdoor recreation.
Have a motion by Mr. Peters, second by Mr. Gillespie. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
We look forward to that.
I'm excited about it. Thank you so much.
And when I say Elizabethtown and White Lake, you're actually Bladen Borough. I mean,
We're the whole area. We cover it.
I just want to clarify that for the ones that didn't know.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Matter of interest, commissioners?
I'd like to say something later on, Mr. Chairman, on item number 10, later on.
Okay.
Emergency services.
Okay, Dr. Mongoy.
I just have a concern about the beaver dam. Where are we on the beaver dam? Are we getting into support? Anybody still working it? Are they still, we have folks to clean up some of these dams? Get the beavers?
If the program is continuing, but you all know we have a county funds, of half part-time position, or it's half of a full-time position. And so if you have anything specific, we can start to look into it.
Well, I got a text from one of the citizens that live on the Lockton Road and across on 87. They're saying that dam is it's backed up again. So how do we get that done?
If we soil and water.
Yeah, soil and water
So
conservation.
I'll have it done.
And I'll be glad, I mean, after the meeting, you give me a name and I'll be glad to have Mr. Morris.
Anyone else?
Okay.
Lake County Library, Mr. Keelan Hatch, Director.
I make a motion to approve to request this library hours change. And it's my memo.
Second. Mr. Hester.
Do a presentation.
Come on up.
Well, so people will know.
Yeah, you probably, I know you all saw the attachment, but we have been looking at our traffic in the library after, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and it is very, very, very minimal at that time. I'd say, 20 years ago, we had a lot more with children doing school projects, having to go to the library, but now we don't have as much of that coming in. We have lots of electronic resources that children are using and things like that, but we just don't have as many people in the facility at that late hour. And I don't know if you realize how late 8:30 is, but it's late. Now, obviously, I get off at 5 o'clock, but my ladies, a lot of them do have to work until 8:30, and they're exiting the building, in the dark. They're not always comfortable doing that. And actually, my beloved Agnes McCall, who's been there for 40-some years, brought this to my attention. She asked me a couple weeks ago, Sheila, have you ever thought about changing our hours and on the late days? And I said, well, actually, I was kind of wondering why, why we stay open that late, but that's just the way it had been. But you know how that goes, sometimes it's time to change. And, honestly, if we did close at 7, and then in Clarkson and Bladen, that would be closing at 6 every day consistently. It would free up some hours for the staff to be there a little bit earlier in the day during the peak time when the traffic is there. Because right now that later shift, they don't come in till like 4, and they've kind of missed some of the peak time there after lunch and such. So, and again, I even printed out, or Liz printed it for me, from last week on Tuesday and Thursday. The last checkout of the day, I think, was like 5:51 on Tuesday and 5:44 on Thursday. And then, of course, they were open till 8:30. And they told me, I think they had maybe one person. So that's why I was asking.
Does it affect their hours? Are they full-time employees?
Yes, one is part-time, but, I mean, we could just shift her time.
Okay, good.
So she could
All right.
come in earlier and, yeah.
I think it's fair to say, trying to be real polite and nice, but there's some traffic that's coming around and all that's not.
Yes,
I'm concerned about safety.
I'm trying to be very polite.
And I appreciate that, but I think the people need to understand. There's some
Yes.
serious concern. We got a motion by Mr. Hester. There's a second by Mr. Gillespie. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Y'all come see us, please.
Finance Department, Ms. Lisa Coleman.
Good evening to each of you.
Good evening, ma'am.
I'd like to review the calendar for the end of September, which is 3 months into the fiscal year. On the general fund, we've received 27.7% of the revenues, and we spent 23.94%. On solid waste, we've collected 30.58% of the budgeted revenues and spent 20.62. Emergency telephone, we're neck and neck. We're 501 and 434, so we're right on target with them. Water, we've collected 28.83% and spent 8.88%. And we still have the $751,000 in the ARPA money that is held for the broadband. So we'll start working on it. Any questions on the dashboard? Moving on to the federal inmate program. At the end of September, we had an average of 67.75 inmates for federal, and the revenues we've been bringing in. But I will let you know that we currently, at the present time, have 8 employees are short. We have vacant positions there. So that would right there, if that continues, unfortunately, will make up the difference in the money we're losing on that. Any questions on that? Okay. Second thing I wanted to bring up to you with you tonight is that we were just found out last week about some more money we're receiving. It's called the Local Assistance and Tribal Consistency Fund Grant Application. Bladen County, we're receiving this money because of the federal lands that we have around the 3 lock and dam areas. They're giving it across the whole state. Bladen County will receive a total of $100,000 over the next 2 years. The only guidelines we've heard so far on how it can be spent is we can't use it for lobbying, so we're waiting for more details. But if you approve of this, I'll go ahead and just authorize me to go ahead and do IDV.
Got a motion by Mr. Gillespie, second by Mr. Bullock. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Thank you.
I would like to make one clarification though on what she said, so you'd understand the money for the federal inmate program. We budget out and spend that money. It's not like it's losing money, it's making millions. Understand that, okay? She's talking about losing after we budget it and using that money. If you had a kitty over there and you were just dropping the money in that kitty would be growing leaps and bounds. So just wanted you to understand that. way it's mentioned, it sort of looks like, oh, just a dead program we need to get rid of. No, you and I haven't paid a payment on it in 2 years. It's paying for itself over there. Just wanted you to know that. Human Resources, Ms. Tasha Jones.
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you for allowing me to be in your presence again, and we want to talk about the emergency calling competition plan that was revised and amended.
Got a motion by Mr. Peterson. Second by Mr. Bullock. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Emergency Service, Mr. Nathan Downs, Director.
Thank you all for allowing me to speak tonight. Couple items. The first one, A, consider obligating funds for the purchase of 2 ambulances. The reason we're coming before you in the middle of a budget year is just the economy right now with ambulances and things like that. I think you've got attached 2 quotes. Just wanted to show you the price difference between a Type 3 and a Type 1 ambulance. So a Type 3 is on ones with the van front. The other one, the Type 1, is the truck front that we have. But mostly we've been migrating towards the van fronts, which is the lower price of the 288,490. Currently, just to give you some background on our ambulance fleet over there now, we've got 14 ambulances total. 5 of those have over 200,000 miles on them. 2 have over 175,000 miles, and 2 are over 100,000 miles. So we've got over half of our fleet is pretty good. But the reason we're coming to you is we got these quotes back on in September. They're holding these quotes till October 31st for us. Since we've got these quotes, they have gone up 7%.
What's good proof?
So just to understand, with the 24 to 30 month lead time.
Got a motion by Mr. Bullock, second by Mr. Peterson. Any further discussion?
I just want to say a thing or two, and Nathan, you can correct me if I make any errors in these comments. I attended the last EMS Advisory Council meeting. I took some notes there. There's a great concern regarding EMS in Bladen County. We as commission have to take serious action on this subject. As I said, I might make some errors here, and I'd like for you to correct me. Don't worry about correcting me, because I accept that, sir. We have Miss Summer Guys out in the audience. She understands what the EMS is all about, too. There are 2 new vehicles over there that can't even be used because the stretcher bound, the foundation for the stretcher cannot be placed in the vehicle. They're backlogged, that's what I was told.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and he mentioned the vehicles over 2,000 miles, 200,000. 2 of them are diesel and 2 of them are gasoline. The 5th vehicle is over 200,000 as well. QRVs, which is quick response vehicles, they have problems as well. He mentioned this turnaround on new vehicles approximately 2 years. What's the
24 to 30 months is the lead times we're getting from everybody.
And the new vehicle prices are steadily rising. As he mentioned, I was told that it takes 3 to 4 months to replace or repair engine. And if we're gonna go that route to replace the engine or repair, it takes 2 or 3 months, maybe 3 or 4 months for that.
To repair an engine?
Yes.
We had one that was out for a transmission that took 3 months.
Okay.
But,
maybe that was the reason they said that. But appears the county, we really need to look at this EMS deal because throughout the entire county, because if we do not do this correctly, there's a medical liability if we do not follow through on everything. And as I said earlier, there are 4 trucks that need to be replaced. They're in bad shape. I think there are 4 vehicles on duty at night and 1 QRV. Bladen need more equipment and employees. We need more equipment and employees in EMS. David is in a bad position because he's trying to fund EMS, trying to run it and don't have the proper equipment, don't have enough employees. He's in a bad position. Now, the only EMS unit that we have outside of Bladen EMS is Bladenburg. At one time, there were 5 EMS volunteer squads in Bladen County, and that's down to 1. The members in Bladenburg have been doing an excellent job handling their calls. Recent times, they have been well-mannered. The future looks dim for Bladenburg and their EMS. Currently, they are answering about 50% of their calls, which is a concern. Some days are open. Coverage then has to be done by Bladen EMS with limited staff and vehicles. Bladenburg EMS and Bladen County contract is a concern. Patient care is a concern. Assigned area coverage is a concern. We need to take action now so all the citizens in Bladen County have efficient medical service. End of statement.
Mr. Brett.
Yes, sir.
I agree with some of that, but you know, we've done so much for EMS, and if Nathan, Mr. Dallas, and Mr. Howe, if they have a problem, they need to bring the tail up here and talk to us and share that with us.
So,
I don't know what else we can do. Me personally.
I'll take, Mr. Chairman, I'll take these comments from the advisory meeting. Well, they're not my comments, it's come from the advisory council.
So I'll kind of shed some light if it's okay with y'all on so 2 of the ambulances we had, so last year we budgeted for a new ambulance and a remount. And I think we've been diligent because every year, I've been here almost 4 years now, and every year we've budgeted for at least 2 ambulances or a remount. Last year we ran into a snag with supply chain and things like that on our new ambulances. So we backed up and punted and talked to Greg and we bought 2 oversized Sprinter vans for our transports that are going to replace 2 of these gas ambulances we got with over 200,000 miles. As far as patient care, equipment that you have always relates to patient care, but we do run 4 ambulances when we have full staff. Bladen County is a big county as far as mileage, so we have to be very strategic about where we place them at. But we're in the same boat as every other department in the everywhere employees. It's hard to find them. It's hard to get them. It makes it extra hard when it requires a certain skill or certification before you even entertain hiring that person. So we used to have 5 volunteer ambulance services in Bladen County. We are down to just Bladenboro. They have struggles just like we have struggles, but we've always got kinks to work out. But we're working through.
I'll get you just a minute. You know, and I know people have heard me say this once, twice, 3 times. You probably heard hear me say it, but as a concerned citizen, not just for Bladen County, but this country, try to get people to join a civic club. They used to just about run the world. Ask boys and girls home what they could do without a civic club. I've said it all along, you might well gear up for full-time paid firemen for the county. If people does not have time, they will not put the phone down, the iPad, the G-pad, and the WayPad to volunteer to do much in it. And I'm not talking about the 5% that does willing to volunteer. But that other 50% that used to do all that stuff now, they can't eat dinner without being on it. They're not going to drop social media to volunteer. And it's sad, because look what it's costing. And it's the involvement. That's what's wrong with our kids today. I love them all, but Charles Ray made a statement at college when I said, he said, you might need to listen, Mr. Britt. I know a man that bought a kid a $12,000 4-wheeler to get him off his Game Boy or whatever, and he said he hadn't cranked the 4-wheeler yet. But my point is, we live in a real world, and we got problems, and we do all we can to address them, but it's an expense to the county. And I know what Mr. Bullock says, we are liable, but it's at a cost. And your population declining, we're one of the few counties and multiple that dropped our millage on taxes this year. For those that don't know, we've gone from 82 to 78.5. If we get the quarter cent passed, we're gonna drop another point. That's our wishes. And everybody knows quarter cent. Line one's 85% of the business out of the county, 50% of mine. White Lake's 90%. That's why Myrtle Beach does so well. They let these out of county and out of state people help do the paying. And if we don't get the quarter cent, guess what? We got to go back. We got to pay for those SROs that the schools need. But we're trying to work on it. But we got some major issues, and I don't hide behind it. And I try to be real, and I try to be fair, and I try to be honest. We got some serious issues.
And we do try to bring up issues and things like this. As you know, ambulances is probably the biggest equipment expense we have over there. And, you know, we've kind of been diligent about, you don't want to go out and replace 10 ambulances right now, because 3 years from now, you're going to have to replace them 10 ambulances. So we're trying to get on a plan where we're doing it period a couple of years, so we're not bombarding it all in 1 year. So, but we replaced the QRV this year. Ain't come in yet. We've got another one on order that was approved in this budget. Just supply chain, man. This chassis is a big deal. So, and stretchers, the thing with the stretchers is backward.
Backward, yeah.
Everything's just backward.
And my question was, you're talking about, replacing them in a recycle, in some type of sequence, manner, so that they don't all fall at the same time.
Absolutely.
Right? But how many do you have now? That are,
14.
you have 14, but how many are less than 100,000?
Oh.
4,
11,
5, 5, 5, right? And so if that is the case now, and if Bladenburg has some concern, I mean, you have to support them when the noise is there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so do you have enough staff to cover? And what is your plan?
Yeah, so we do, and we get a schedule from them monthly of what coverage, and the medical director approved for them to have. They're a paramedic level service, so our medical director allowed them to do intermediate coverage less than 50% of the time a month. So they try to let us know if it's a paramedic level call, then we have to send somebody, kind of like we done with E-Town when they were in service. But they send us a schedule. Sometimes things come up where they say they're going to have somebody there, and they don't. We have kinks to work out from time to time, but we make it work. A lot of times we might have to move the truck from Tar Heel to Dublin, kind of cover both. And then it's all according to what goes on where those trucks shift to. And that's what our supervisor's duties are.
Do we still have it on the east?
Yes.
Kelly still? And staff?
Yes.
Where are you on your staff?
I don't know exactly how many vacancies we have now. And, you know, we could easily sit here and say we're going to add a 5th or a 6th truck to our fleet. The problem right now is finding the people to man.
Yeah, there's problems out there.
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of it's supply chain.
Absolutely.
And a lot of it's like everybody else. They can't find people to work, and the college is trying to recruit as hard as they can to get paramedics and EMC. I mean, everybody's doing all they can do. It's just it's not falling in place.
It's not yet. And I've had several meetings with Dr. Lee and the EMS staff there about their recruitment efforts, and they're working on it. So,
but on the ones who graduate from Bladen, do they stay in Bladen?
Now that I don't know. Some of them do, but not all.
But the reason they don't is a lot of them, this is not their resident.
Absolutely.
They come from other counties.
Well, the pay raise we've done has helped us as much as anything. It makes us more competitive so we can get those people when they graduate from college. Went and done that, we'd have fewer than we got now.
Mr. Chairman, I think too, a lot of the EMS employees, they go into nursing, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, you got a lot because there's a bridge program now. If you're a paramedic, you can go to school for a semester and a half and then you can be a nurse. So that pay gap there, you know, we can't compete with it now.
All right.
So,
Mr. Mark.
Mr. Chairman, just to put in context, to give some context to the mileage issue with vehicles, it does not take long miles to add up. Lisa just submitted the EMS Medicaid cost report the past couple of weeks. And these are approximate numbers, but the mileage for last year was approximately 567,000 or something like that for ambulances, and then another approximately 60 for QRV. So that's 6. So it really, in 1 year, so when you really look at the number of rolling ambulances, it does not take long.
The ambulance we replaced, it got wrecked on Christmas Eve, it got totaled out, and we got insurance. Luckily, we didn't get it till March or April, I believe. Less than that, more than that. It was like August. It's already got 8,400 miles.
Mr. Bishop. So, maybe Mr. Dawson, maybe it's you, Mr. Martin, how are we being paid? Are we collecting, or are we, the money? Is it pretty good now? Is it improved?
You want to speak to that?
Well, as you know, we changed billing company,
Yeah.
so we're not having to pay out as much, and they are being more aggressive in collecting. They're not waiting like the other companies.
And we noticed that particularly in, was it September? The first 3 months of July, August, and September, the first 3 months of the year, we were tracking better than we were last year at the same time. And particularly that third month, that was a distinct.
Write-off was a huge deal with our other billing company.
We just saw that
And the new
today.
company hasn't written off anything.
Yeah, they're being a whole lot more aggressive than just.
So the place is 2 on order, we got a motion.
Second.
Got a motion, who made the motion?
I made the motion.
Charles made it. Charles already seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Dawson.
Mr. Chairman, I got one
Yes,
question. Mr. Martin, the vehicle rental, how is that, are we still involved with that or what?
We evaluated that, extremely closely, and with the rising interest rates, in the rising interest rate environment that we're in, it was not going to be advantageous.
But the first thing I was saying, could we rent EMS trucks?
They didn't, that was not.
They're not in that.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, sir. Can I get a motion to go into Bladen County Water District?
I got one.
I'm sorry, Nate. I apologize.
So the second is, consider approving a request for qualifications for a Bladen County Emergency Operations Center architectural and feasibility study.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion by Mr. Bullock, second by Mr. Hester. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you.
Oh, I've got one question. Is that, study gonna be to tear down what's there?
So we're gonna look at, rehabilitating that and tearing it down. They're gonna give us the best option.
Thank y'all for what y'all do today. Thank you.
Let's get on the water board.
Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Gillespie to go on the water board, second by Mr. Bullock. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Water board.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Sure.
Oh, ma'am. Good evening, board.
There you go.
Previously, I spoke with you regarding the need for improving fire flow for the Tar Heel school that is being constructed at this time. Following that meeting, we were hard at work on getting some numbers together on what it would take to accomplish the goals that they see that are needed. The first of which, and you'll see this in a letter back to me from MVP, Mr. Michael Burris, addressed the school board, put forth 3 options. Let me illustrate first that option 1 is a temporary solution, which will put bladder tanks on that site and a temporary fire pump on that site to give the school the ability to open on their schedule, while other things are in the works. That's $546,000. Option 2 would be a more long-term solution, which would construct a 360,000-gallon ground level tank on that site. If you know the 2 tanks just beyond Smithfield out there, it will be similar to that, except this would be a metal enclosed structure, not concrete. That option 2 also includes the temporary measure of option 1, which they feel they may need because of supply chain issues, again, getting the materials, getting the metal tank constructed, getting all the apparatus that goes with that in place. So option 2 includes option 1 and the construction of the metal tank. Option 3. Option 2 is $1,410,000. Option 3, and this one just really shocked us, because a few years ago, elevated tanks didn't cost what the figures are today. Option 3 includes option 1, which is the temporary, to give them the opportunity to open under a temporary measure, but put a elevated ground storage tank in the vicinity of that school, not necessarily on that school site, but close enough by. and then piping to construct to support the volume of water needed at the school, as well as rehabilitate the 2 pumps we have in Tar Heel, make them higher producing and better producing pumps, well systems. So $4,824,000, which is an astronomical figure.
That,
Cool. Go
that
ahead.
help, if I can interrupt, that help the fire departments need there too?
Yes, sir. It would help the whole town of Tar Heel with better water support for that town. The school board has met. They discussed these 3 options, but at this time, they have not selected either of the options to pursue. There's another meeting to be scheduled to discuss further what they intend to do. And we are also looking for funding sources ourselves to see if there's some other option that we can do that still may allow us to put this elevated tank in place. But we haven't secured anything yet at this time. So my report to you tonight is things are still inconclusive, but these are the options that are being presented by their architects, their engineers, and our engineers.
Mr. Martin, are you at liberty to discuss the
Well,
possibility maybe that we talked about today?
I just had a conversation Friday with the architect. He made us aware of federal, I guess it's some type of credit or reimbursement that would be the organizations who implement energy savings improvements or whatever in a school would be eligible for a portion, a rebate, really what it is, for approximately 40% of the overall cost. For instance, in the Tar Heel School, that would include the geothermal system as well as the solar panels. And so, ballpark, what we understand, the ballpark price of that would be, or a rebate would be in the $3.2 million range. There's a lot of uncertainty still with it, or unknowns, I guess, from our perspective. So we need to explore that. One of the things he indicated we need to do is to, well, first of all, we need to talk to the school system, but talk with a certain type of attorney that deals with that kind of stuff to advise us on that. So there's a lot of unknowns that I really not able to share a lot more because I don't know a lot more.
Question though, when you talk about rebates and the 3.3, is it credit back or is it dollars? I don't think you really get dollars.
No, it would be a rebate. It would come back, but it would come back after a matter of 18 to 24 months.
Okay.
So we would front the cost up front, then receive.
And also in that, Mr. Martin, and the school board's got $1 million what into the water?
Well, I don't know what the option they're gonna choose.
But if they go with option number 3, $1.4 million,
if they go
and if
with
we
two,
got the
that would be
rebate
$1.4 million.
and they go with the $1.4 million, then we would just need 2 to go at 200.
And it takes a lot of coordination.
I understand that, yeah. I'm a big believer in dreamer and prayer.
Yeah.
Mr. Peterson.
So, what's the difference in the ground level and elevated level?
Ground level will provide no pressure.
Okay.
It's just a reservoir. You've got to have an adequate pump.
Okay, so, the question of you, Mr. Martin, is how does this compare to geothermal, a storage tank for fire prevention? How does that even qualify? I mean, how does that even in the same?
It's not, it's just money that would be available, it's funds that could potentially become available as a result of the fact that they're designing a geothermal system in solar panels. They haven't pursued it. It's just legislation that the details, as I understand it, have not even been written yet with the Treasury's office.
There's a potential for green energy dollars.
Right.
Since you're building a green energy facility, there's a potential for green energy credits to become back.
Rebate, actually.
Rebate.
What kind of balance you have? You don't have to answer it. Okay. I mean, it's got to be on them, don't it?
Well, and
They don't have the money to do it.
No, not at this point we don't. They're looking at what their options are with the funding they already have and where they could cut back and do some things differently to generate this dollar to get them moving. So it's a big decision for them. It would be a decision for us if we had a funding source, but at this point, we don't yet have it.
I just wonder, I guess, and I know that I just wonder when they, when you do a $40 million structure project, they don't, the architect, I'm not trying to, sounds wrong, I don't mean it that way. I'm just surprised they don't look at these things and say, what's there? what do we need? And then, I mean, somebody's been caught with their pants down. I mean, it just, I mean, that's an amazing thing though, when you're building something that large. It is, in my opinion though, that you don't look at what you have in place versus what, I mean, it's unreal.
And Kip can
You know.
attest to this, the requirement is so much greater than any, than most,
And what we have available anywhere in our system.
Yeah. I mean, I mean it. I don't mean it the way, I really don't, but it just seems like with their expertise, when they came here that night and, oh, we've done this and we've done this and done this, and they would have looked at that, but anyway.
I mean, Claire, this also supports our fire department, correct, Tar Heel?
Yeah.
Because they are.
Well, they're gonna have to. They're gonna have to. That's a major issue
Well,
for
right
them.
now, they have problems for themselves, not just for the school.
If we
Yeah.
could move forward with the elevated tank that we have proposed to construct, that would address the issue for the fire department. That would also provide water services to the community.
It's a win-win for them.
Well, yeah, we're gonna get $4 million.
Good question.
Yeah.
All right, motion come out of order.
Motion by Mr. Peterson, second by Mr. Hester, come out of order, vote. Board, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Advisory Board appointments, EMS Advisory Board Council 5.
Laura Watts for Jeff Cook, Zachary Davis, Tracy Smith, James Brian Hill for James Green, Nathan would stay on, and Patricia Smith would go on in Tiffany Tate's place.
Motion by Mr. Peterson, a second by Mr. Hester. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Library Board 2.
Paula Kinlaw to replace Nicole Kinlaw, and Marcia Burney to replace Pat Mishaw.
Motion by Mr. Peterson, second by Mr. Hester. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Advisory Board appointments for consideration during November 21st meeting. Bakery Lakes, keep in mind, these 1, Park and Fire Service District 2. American Rescue Plan Act. Mr. Mark.
thank you, Mr. Chairman. We just want you to have the most up-to-date information. At this point, as you have hopefully seen, there are 4 projects that are complete in terms of their application. So if anyone has an interest in providing funding, those 4 projects include the Disciples Incorporated application in the amount of $2,500, the Town of Clarkson Dixie Youth Ball Field application in the amount of $36,382, Bladen Smart Start in the amount of $58,400, and the Town of Bladen for a storm drain audit. The cost on that is $20,000.
So, Mr. Martin, Mr. Britt.
Yes, sir.
Is there any interest in supporting any of these? Can we take some, the ones that we're not gonna support off the list?
What you saying?
If there's some that we know we're not gonna support, can we take it off the list?
You want to, but
I mean, I don't know who they are.
I don't need, but we don't know we have any funds for them. We have the money for them.
All money's got is 5 commissioners.
Oh, okay.
4 of us is broke. I wish I weren't, but I ain't.
But however, if this additional funds come in next year, will we still have this information out here? Because it's supposed to be some, infrastructure money supposed to be coming in next year. They talk about the conference, so, and that's supposed to be,
I think we'd start up one.
well,
What comes down and what the guidelines are. That's just my thought.
I mean, would it be different than these,
well, we're not doing infrastructure at all.
no, I'm just saying, would that be a separate pot of money for other purposes, or would that just be something?
No, it'll be, different part, different
Yeah, that's what I'm
purpose, but I think some of these folks, unless they change them, they are, infrastructure, so we shouldn't have them anyway.
Probably
Anyway,
some of them we've approved, you still don't have the,
yeah, I'm gonna do it, yeah, I'm gonna do that.
application for it.
Yeah, that's okay.
Well, Mr. Chair, what we'd like to, at least, the funds for number 2, Disciples Incorporated.
Second.
Yes, I made a motion for them.
2.
And we're gonna give them the $2,500. It comes from, Cogdell, Commissioner Gillespie, Bullock, and myself. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Second.
We got a motion by Dr. McGowan, second by Mr. Bullock. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No, we just did use.
That was it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We're waiting for the other application.
Mr. Martin, on the, bike in Bladenboro,
Yes, sir.
I have committed 12,000 out of mine to fix that drain. So they'll have a balance of 8,400. And hopefully, my understanding, that may be phrased, that's the problem where flooding problem was in that town. So I guess it's appropriate for me to make the motion since it's coming to my little kitty. And, Ms. Peterson seconded it. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I pray that helps take care of that problem. Anybody else see anything?
Is there anything we're not gonna do?
Bladenburg DXU Fund 9. Mark, didn't you say y'all?
Yeah, he's got an incomplete application. He's got to get at least to that itemized list.
That's what I was asking earlier. So some of these,
Yeah.
we've approved them, but just don't have the application yet, correct?
They're not completed.
We don't have a follow-up proof.
Got
Okay.
Oh. Have you got that contact?
Yes, I've contacted all these people several times. Matter of fact, Bladenboro DPU called me a couple of weeks ago, he said, I'll get it to you tomorrow. Haven't seen it yet.
I'll help you out on that one.
Well, you can bring them up. I don't know about this on parking. I think we did that one already.
We
We did the lead.
We've got to do the lead.
We did the lead, so we're not doing the town.
Right.
We're not.
You scratch the town.
We don't have the funds, so we, Mark, start, we don't have funds for that one.
That's it. We'll just take them off the list and leave them there.
Which one was for that?
Town department.
Smart Start. Got that.
Did you know? I thought the county was doing the 12. Who did 12?
Well,
That's not us. Somebody doing that?
12.
Yeah. Was that one of the groups that we? I don't know that one. Oh, no, okay, that's Kelly. I'm sorry. Is that Kelly? Laura Blaine? That's Kelly. Okay, we're just waiting.
They got to get.
Yeah, we're waiting on their documents as well. We don't have the funds for 13.
Scratch 13.
Can't remember.
We're gonna give them a lower amount.
Which one? No, they have two. They have 3. I don't know which one we're doing.
Okay.
We have 3.
Okay.
They're doing 8, and we funded 8 or 14.
13 scratch? 13 you scratch?
No,
No.
I'm not, because I don't, oh, yeah, I mean, I have no funds for that.
I understand.
So unless
Just hold
somebody else
off
has.
on that.
You said
No,
8
no,
or
no, but
14.
look,
They got 3
we
on
have
there.
13 and 14,
8, 13, 14.
yeah, I'm not sure which one's the right one. I think it was 14 is one we're going to. Which one is that?
Number 8.
Okay, that's the one I think we were supporting.
You said give the money to the.
Right, that's it.
Said I've asked them for, but we can't give it for capital,
Right,
and I've asked them for programs, and
exactly.
they haven't provided it.
That's 8.
Yes.
So I know,
Is that the one that's asking for the, air conditioning?
Yes, sir.
and we said we couldn't do that,
AC, no.
but they're supposed to rewrite that one, I think. And we have no funds for the other one.
So 13, 14. Leave 8 to take them out too.
I don't have.
Well, see, a lot of these don't
Leave
have.
14 on there until we find out that you take 13 off. Leave 8 on there. I mean, yeah,
leave 14 on it until we get some clarification.
I know we have no funds for it. Yeah.
Why not,
Number 15 for you.
why not, do 14, Mark? Huh?
I have no funds
Do
for it.
14. I'm just asking, let's get some clarification on that.
On which one?
14.
14.
I thought she's doing the one for the youth program. That's what she told me. That's the one we approved. Take the unit off. But we're doing the summer youth programs and we approved. We'll wait.
I feel very well. On the,
Show this, yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
yes, ma'am. Sure, go right ahead.
On the town of Bladen, so we're just gonna give them the 12
Out of
out of your.
my money, yeah.
Number 12 is out of your money?
No, the Bladen.
Oh, okay. Oh, I heard 12.
Yeah, 12 is fine.
12,000.
12,000.
We're just waiting. We're waiting for the document.
Ms. Coleman, most of these, you say you follow on all of them about what you need.
In fact, I had a gentleman come in last week, and he said, I must have missed your email. And I showed him where I sent him two, right back, and one in July and one in August. And he said he was gonna get some more information to me, but he hasn't done it.
Okay. I think a lot of times when people hear back from you, this is me thinking this, they think it's been denied. I said, no, she asking for documentation, you gotta get the documentation in there.
Anything else on that?
No more.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. All right.
We approve.
County Manager, Ms. Mark.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I'd like to review the calendar with you for the remainder of October and November. Point out this Thursday, the 20th at 5:45, the Lumber River Council of Government meeting will take place Southeastern Agricultural Center in Lumberton. Saturday, the 22nd, from 10 until 2, there's a fall festival at Jones Lake State Park. Also, that afternoon, from 12 until 4, there's a Falling in the Fun Fest at Emerald Bladen Charter School here in Elizabethtown. On Tuesday, the 25th, at 6 p.m., the municipal and county meeting will take place in the town of Tar Heel. Beach Fest is Friday and Saturday, the 28th and 29th, Lake Road. Moving over to November, on Tuesday, the 1st, at 6 p.m., the Substance Misuse Task Force will meet at Bladen Community College. On Thursday, the 3rd, at 12 noon, JCPC meets. On Friday and Saturday, the 4th and 5th, the Pork and Beach Festival will take place here in Elizabethtown at the Cape Farmers Market. On Monday, the 7th, at 8 a.m., there's a prayer service here. Election Day is Tuesday, the 8th. Friday, the 11th, county offices will be closed in observance of the Veterans Day holiday. On Monday, the 14th, at 5 p.m., there's a Health and Human Services Advisory Committee. Board of Commissioners meets that evening at 6:30. On Saturday, the 19th, at 12 noon, there's a community prayer service here on the courthouse lawn. Board meets on that 21st at 6:30. And county offices are closed on the 4th service. Moving to item B, this is a follow-up previous discussion. We recommend approval of establishing a full-time finance position for economic development to work with Bladen County Agri-Industrial. That position will be a grade 28A. Total package is $66,118.06.
Are we not ready to do the recruiter?
That's what we.
I thought we were gonna do them together.
Well, I mean, we're doing them together in terms of working on them currently, but we still have 3 firms that have been identified that we're going to interview as far as that happens.
Well,
Can you repeat, you said you have what? 3 firms?
3 firms that have been identified for the talent acquisition. To work with military, to recruit on, and kind of with a focus on military.
so if they've been identified, how come we can't approve moving, are we moving forward with that? I mean, what is the difference in?
That was my understanding, did you all at the last meeting approved to move forward with this concept with a full-time position on the finance and contracting services for the talent acquisition? That's exactly what we're doing. That's right. So we've come back, we now have, as I understand it, Blaze Blooming's board is met.
Motion to approve.
prepared to, or is in agreement to move forward with this full-time position. And the talent acquisition, I move forward on that.
Yeah, but they tried to.
So all I'm trying to say is I was hoping they would both move together and move at the same pace, not one versus the other one. If you got three firms that could do this contract, I don't know why we ain't approving to move forward with one of those three forms.
We haven't had an opportunity to meet with them.
Well, I mean, you know, this, I don't mean to be critical, don't take it the wrong way, but it's important that we get this recruiter and we get people in these industries working, I'm telling you people. And I'll leave it at that.
Second to the motion.
We got a motion by Mr. Lester, a second from Mr. Bullock. Any further discussion?
I have one, Mr. Chair. I have a couple. So this is a full-time position, right? And is it going to be a county position?
However, 60% of the funding will come from Bladen County Agriculture.
Who's going to select this person? Are we going to follow the rules that we're not pre-selecting anyone? That it's going to go through the regular and follow the federal laws when it comes to hiring?
Certainly. Ms. Jones will advertise it, it'll be other process. I don't, if there's anybody that's been pre-identified, I have no clue. I don't know anything about that, and I don't think that's.
Well, I'm saying it now. We don't do it right. If you don't, then I'm going to say something, because I don't think it's fair for us to pre-select anyone that just because. Let's follow the right way. Let's do it federal law. Do not discriminate. We're going to look at everybody, regardless of who they are. But they have, as long as they have the skills. I'm just saying.
That's our approach. Yeah, that's always our approach.
I ain't heard tell no pre-select, but what I was gonna say was, I would think that, either Chuck represents Bladen Bloom or Bladen Bloom, one of Bladen's Bloom, and members be at the table on this interview.
I agree.
Yeah, great. That's fine.
I agree.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you. Moving to item C, I just want to update you to let you know that the grant application that was submitted by Focus Broadband with Bladen County as a partner was approved, as you all, I think, may have heard already by now. So that's a very positive thing. Also, on the, you remember there's another grant called a CAB grant, Continuing Access Broadband. Star Telephone has been working on a project to propose to the county. They had hoped to be here this evening, but had circumstances that made that unable to do that. They do plan to be here at our first meeting in November to propose a project, and so we'll look forward to having that presentation. You all, as Lisa indicated earlier, there has been approximately $750,000 or so earmarked from ARPA funds for that purpose. So that is continuing.
Is this, Focus grant, is this 216, is it separate money?
The county match. That's 216 of the 750.
Oh, yeah, well, that's what I was gonna ask you. And so, I know, I was told, that when Star didn't get that last grant, they were appealing it. Have you heard anything about what the appeal process was? Because they had residents, that weren't in their area or something, they were appealing, that's what I was told.
Haven't heard any details.
I don't think nothing been decided.
I guess last I heard, they were appealing it because there was, I don't remember all the details, but not that.
So does it mean though, part of the citizens of Bladen County won't be covered?
I don't know, what it said was, what I was told, when they did their grant, and they evaluated the grant, they had people, somehow or another, they put people in areas that weren't supposed to be, so that's what knocked Star out of the running for the money. And they were appealing, so that's what I was told. I didn't know.
The great grant's supposed to cover the rest of the folks.
That is gonna focus particularly on the Chicken Foot Road corridor there and, northwestern part of the county.
And Star's supposed to cover those on East Arcadia.
The gap, it's kind of the gap, that project's supposed to fill the gap. But
The only misleading factor of that, and I'm gonna just drop the bomb on everybody. As y'all know, when we've gone to the state meetings, our governor said, everybody will have access, everybody on the main highways will. We're I mean, everybody's rural county, you get urban.
Rural area.
So it was all about schools and pandemics and kids at home. But the feasibility for side roads is there. So, you know, I'm just being truthful, we're gonna have a bunch of, but then they came back and said, correct me, Greg, if I'm wrong, that when the second wave of money comes around, then they'll try to identify and work on that some, correct? But I'm just telling you, so you know in advance, you heard it tonight.
We ain't gonna have that money on the second round.
But I think the big money pool that is set out there, not for us, but hopefully we're gonna be able to tap into it.
Mr. Chairman, you
Please.
probably already aware, there's a lot of times if you're using GPS, in Bladen County, it drops you. So, you know, you be traveling through trying to find your way, but we need to really some improvements out there.
Need to update your GPS.
Update.
Yeah.
I got it right here.
Not being ugly, but I thought the definition, part of it, of rural county was rural roads. But anyway, go ahead, Mr. Mark.
Thank you. Moving to item D. The town of Elizabeth, as you all know, the live, work, play concept at the Elizabeth County Industrial Park is a big focus for the town of Elizabeth. Bladen County's been working closely in that regard as well. The town recently applied for an EDA grant for infrastructure to serve the park. However, unfortunately, due to very stiff competition, that project was not funded. They were encouraged to reapply to tighten their budget on the project and also to, as one aspect, to increase the grant match. This provides an opportunity for the county to participate in this project. Housing is a focus, on the live, work, play, as well as other industrial or economic development projects that have already been identified, and they're in the plans. And so this has really multiple benefits in terms of healthcare projects, tourism projects, housing. The proposal is for the county to allocate $100,000 of the $250,000 in ARPA-enabled funds that we have set aside to participate in this project.
Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Peterson, a second by Mr. Gillespie. And, any further discussion?
How much, they said they're gonna lower the grant request, you know how much the grant will be for?
I think if I'm not mistaken, the original grant application was in the 1.4 million range.
I'll be around 900.
Yeah, they.
Mark and I met today, Blake, when we met today. It's a very good thing, and when you can spend 100 to get 900.
Which is good.
And you got to have the infrastructure before you can put the buildings, you know, so. And the buildings.
This is $100,000 of our ARPA funds.
Yes, yeah, we set aside for housing, $250,000.
While we're discussing, well, go ahead.
Go ahead, no, it's fine.
Well, I just wanted to mention, in the housing regard, you all know that you set aside $250,000 for Habitat and housing. We have a meeting with those folks in Fayetteville this Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock, so hopefully we'll be able to get some more direction.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then last, I just want to, I know this is an important topic, we want to keep it on the front burner. At the last meeting, Sid Whiteford was here to provide an update on the strategic planning related to the substance misuse crisis that we have in our country and in Bladen County. And one of the purposes of her work is to help us to determine how best to appropriate and allocate our opioid settlement. And you may recall one of her primary recommendations is to reserve beds at the Healing Place in Wilmington for Bladen County residents who need that level of treatment. And so we provided pictures she just sent today. I just want to share with you. They're the facilities under construction. And we saw it back in the spring, and it really has come a long way since then. But it should be open ideally by the first of the year. So if I'm understanding correctly, approximately 5 beds is what may be needed for Bladen County, at least to begin with and see how it goes. And so we are working on an agreement with the Healing Place. I just wanted to kind of just keep that on your radar, so when it comes to you, you know that's all. That's all, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
So, Mr. Britt, let's get feedback on that a minute. November the 1st, Bladen Community College, 6 o'clock. see it's gonna be there again, and she's gonna present the plan to the public. And if you can go, please go.
This is again, no,
November the 1st, 6 o'clock, at the auditorium at BCC. We need to test it. We need to, spending this money, man, we need to set a course of direction of which way we need to go. And we need help setting that course.
Mr. Chairman, what drugs are we really concentrating on? Now, I see pictures here, but what are we looking at?
We're looking at everything, alcohol and everything.
marijuana and.
Yeah, what she has indicated, opioids, but in addition to that, marijuana and alcohol are two major.
That's when we changed it from opioids to substance.
Now, these pictures here that you talked about, this picture of this place, that will have medical sources there as well?
Yes.
Okay.
And you all know we received a grant from Trillium for $77,000 or $78,000 to provide, there's a level of, some type of injection that patients receive.
Okay.
That we can't use our opioid settlement funds for, and so Trillium's provided a grant to help provide that treatment.
Anything else?
That's all, thank you.
Individual delegation wish to address the commissioners. Matter of interest to commissioners. Can I get a motion to go into closed session?
Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Gillespie, second by Mr. Bullock. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.